Hello and welcome to the Student Event Planning tutorial. This video will show you how to use StanSync to create events for your student organization. To begin, go to the CSU Stanislaus SLD website to log on to StanSync. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a large red StanSync box. Click on this. From here, you'll sign in with your campus ID. On the home page, you'll have access to see the other events going on campus. Up here under My Memberships, click on the portal of the group you want to create an event for. From here, click the tool Events, and then the green button Create an Event. When choosing an event name, make sure that your student organization's name is before the event. Here I'm going to put Peer Health Educator Test Event. Your category can be for whatever the event is. If it's academic, cultural, dance, whatever it is, you can select this. The description, we just ask that you be as descriptive as possible. Your SLD advisors have a decent idea of what you as students are doing out there on campus, but other administrators don't know you as well. The more description you put in your description, the better are we able to help you. After the description, you'll put in the time and date of your event. Make sure to remember the timelines for all events. Meetings need to be requested at least 3 business days in advance. Activities require 2 weeks or 14 days advance notice, and large events require 21 days. Here you can input your time, if the event is repeating, and you can say if you need space on campus. Using StanSync, you no longer need to reserve space on 25 Live. To choose a space on campus, click the Choose Space button. This will connect you to 25 Live and show you all the available rooms on campus. Over here on the left-hand side, you can filter out the rooms. If you know that you need a room that can fit a capacity of 100 people, you can view those rooms. There's other features you can choose by looking over here. Rooms that have a green check mark next to them are available at the time and date that you've selected. Rooms with a circle and red slash are not available. Click on the room you would like and select Available Request Reservation. Also notice over here on the right-hand side, more information about the space pops up. After clicking Available Request Reservation, another tab will open up that's Reservation Category. Please make sure that this is always labeled as student activity. As students, we need to make sure that your events are labeled correctly. Below that is Event Image. If you have a flyer that you would like to have associated with this event or posted on the news post on the StanSync homepage, upload your flyer here. Under Participants, you can select if you want to have a limited number of people RSVP and who can RSVP. You can also choose who sees this. By selecting Visible only to people in this portal, you make it only available to your members. Clicking on CSU Stanislaus makes it available to all people, and putting on Public and Website opens it up to anyone viewing OrgSync. Clicking on Portal Sharing will allow this event to be posted on the StanSync homepage. After you have finished this page, click Create an Event. This will take you to the rest of the event request and will ask you questions about your event. We ask that you are honest as possible in order to help your SLD advisor give you the best advising possible. As you proceed through the event request, questions will prompt up more questions the larger your event is. If you say that you're going to be handling food, the TFP or potluck form will open up for you. If you answer that you are handling money, the cash handling form will pop up. This eliminates the need for you to manually fill out these forms. All you will need to do is answer the questions honestly on StanSync, and your SLD advisor will print them out for you to sign. If for some reason you don't complete the cash handling form, TFP, or potluck form in the StanSync event request, those files are located on your portal, and you can access them and manually fill them out. Using StanSync, you no longer need to access 25 Live. However, as a student event coordinator, you have access to 25 Live and the functions available on that site. To log on to 25 Live, go into the Stanislaus State webpage, Calendar of Events, and click Submit Request through 25 Live portal. From here, you will sign in with your CSU Stanislaus credentials like you would for StanSync or My CSU Stan. On 25 Live, you can do a more thorough search for rooms, as well as other information and times available for those rooms. To search a room and find out more information about that space, go over here to this blue cube and type in the room you are looking for. Click the room, and then click on Details. This will show you important information about the room and things that are important to know. MSR 130 is not available for student organizations until after 5 p.m. on weekdays or all day on the weekends. There's also other information including the scheduler, features of the room, and different layouts. Here you can click on the different layouts to see the look of them as well as how many people they can fit in that layout. When you're creating your StanSync event request, you may be asked if you need to change the layout of the room. Here is a great opportunity to look at the different layouts available in rooms to put that into your StanSync event request. From here, you can also look at the availability of a room. If you know that you want to utilize a specific room, but don't know what time you want to have the room, here will show you what times are available to use that room. Other large rooms that are frequently used by students include main dining, south dining, and the event center. All these rooms also have key information that can be found on 25 Live. When making your reservation, keep in mind that certain rooms and areas are not available for students. Conference rooms in MSR and the second and third floor are not available to students, and those on the first floor are not available until after 5 p.m. on weekdays. We encourage students to reserve rooms in the Student Union and Bazzini Classroom Hall before any other rooms. Those are designated areas designed for students. If no space is available in those two areas, look into DBH and then South Dining and Naragi if all else fails. If you're having trouble selecting a room, feel free to contact your SLD advisor to receive assistance. Now that you know the basic functions on how to create an event on StanSync, I'll show you some of the forms that are frequently used by students. Again, you'll access your portal and you'll click on Files. Here in the folder titled Event Planning Forms, all the different forms used by students for event planning are located. Starting with the alcohol use request form. This is a large form used when you want to request alcohol at your event. Please note that this form needs to be submitted to the SLT office 3 weeks prior to your event and requires a signature of your advisor, your event coordinator, and your president. This is a very large form, and I would recommend contacting your SLD advisor for help in accessing it. Next is the cash box request form. Use this form to request a cash box from cashiers. This is great for any kind of fundraiser or event where you're holding cash and need to be able to secure it in a secure location. The next form is the event safety plan. This is a large form that is used for large events. I highly recommend contacting your SLD advisor to help you with this event safety plan. A lot of the questions are designed to help safety and risk management as well as UPD ascertain what kind of assistance you need for your event. Next is a facilities work order. If you have an event with a lot of people and need extra trash cans, need janitorial service, or need equipment from facilities, this is the form that you will use. Always make sure to click Yes on Estimate Required and contact your SLD advisor for assistance. The money handling form is already located in the StanSync event request. However, if you were not able to fill it out in that event request, or you decide to handle the money post creating the event request, you can manually fill out one here. This is for any kind of event where you have money, a fundraiser, a philanthropy, bake sale, etc. Make sure to submit this to the SLD at least 10 days before your event. Movies are not frequently shown on campus. However, if you would like to show one for your organization's event, you will need to fill out this form and purchase a movie license. Please be aware that licenses cost several $100s. If you would like to show a movie that has already been licensed by one of the departments on campus, please contact your SLD advisor. This form needs to be submitted at least 2 weeks before your event to the SLD office. The potluck form is another form that is located on the StanSync event request. However, if you need to, this can be manually filled out and submitted to the SLD 7 days before your event. Please be aware key differences between a potluck form and a TFP. Potlucks are for member-only events. All food must be made by members and by several members. The idea behind a potluck is that several people or all people are sharing the risk of the event, rather than one person acting as a vendor and taking on the risk in case somebody gets sick. If you purchase food from a vendor, like going to get pizzas or sandwich trays from Subway, this does not count as a potluck. All potluck forms must be for events that have homemade food. Make sure to read thoroughly the health and sanitation requirement page. You are signing this and are held liable for any violations of this policy. Like the potluck form, the TFP is in the StanSync event request, but can be downloaded here and submitted manually. A TFP is utilized by student organizations for any event where you are having food, selling food, or serving food. Please note that you only have 4 temporary food permits per academic year. You can utilize this to have 4 in a semester and none the next, 2 for each semester, however you would like to divvy it up, but you only have 4 per semester. Make sure to include your vendor's name and address, all the foods you are going to be serving, and how you're cooking them. All food sold on campus or served on campus must be either bought from a vendor or cooked on site. Here you will sign it and you will submit it to the SLD at least 10 days before your event. Again, please be sure to read thoroughly the health and sanitation requirements. You are held liable for any violations of this policy. Please remember, you also need to reserve at least 2 tables and an awning for any food served in the quad. When buying food from a vendor, make sure they have the appropriate business license and are able to provide food for the general public. If they do not have a license, you are not able to use them as a vendor for your event. For events that have a lot of risk involved, such as sports or anything involving bounce houses, you may be asked to fill out a release of liability form. Here is a blanket copy of the form. If you have an event that does require this form, a customized one will be emailed to you by Safety and Risk Management. Here you will have to have every participant sign the form agreeing to the following verbiage, and if any minors are participating, they will need to have their parents sign. Again, this form will be customized for your event and sent to you by Safety and Risk Management. All forms, all signed forms, will need to be submitted to the SLD office the day after the event. Located here is the SRC Facility Reservations Agreement. This is the form and policies required to be filled out, signed, and returned to Robin Embry of the SRC in order to utilize any SRC facilities. Please note the specific timelines for this form. This needs to be submitted at least 48 hours to a meeting with Robin Embry, which must be at least 5 weeks before your event. The form itself isn't very hard to fill out, however it is long and there are a lot of policies to agree to. Feel free to come and visit your SLD advisor for assistance with this form or in contacting the SRC personnel. If you ever reserve a space in the University Student Union or the Quad and you reserve resources there, you may need to fill out a USU Equipment Rental Agreement form. This must be submitted to Elvis Delgado of the Student Union at least 7 days before your event. As always, contact your SLD advisor or Elvis for more assistance in filling out this form. The next form is essentially a guide for all student event coordinators on how to create events on campus. This will give you all the helpful resources and tips you need to know to successfully plan an event on campus. This will remind you of all due dates, of the different types of meetings, activities, and events, and who to contact for certain things. This planning guide must be read thoroughly and completely in order to understand your role as a student event coordinator. We highly recommend that you have this open and ready to go when you create events to make sure that you are answering everything correctly. If you have any questions about this, you are welcome to come and visit your SLD advisor. Key things to note on this planning guide are the different event categories, as well as their times. Meetings must be reserved at least 3 days ahead of the event, activities 14 days, and events 21 days. Here are examples of the types of meetings, activities, and events. Again, check the student union and classroom building first for available rooms. Other files that may be helpful for you when planning an event include the ASI check request form and the ASI request for payment. The student union and ASI have new policies stating that student groups need to submit a check request form 7 days prior to any event where they are renting out equipment. This is to ensure that the student union and ASI are paid in a timely manner. The ASI check request form will be used probably more often than any other form by student organizations. This gives you access to receive money from your ASI student organization account. This form needs to be filled out by your treasurer and signed by your advisor before being submitted to the SLD. Please keep in mind that the ASI check request form must be filled out and typed on a computer. It cannot be handwritten, and that checks take about 2 weeks to be processed. Once all files and event requests have been submitted, your event request will go through the process of being approved by administration on campus. If you have any questions about where your event is in the process of being approved, contact your SLD advisor and he or she will be able to help you to navigate what else needs to be turned in, if anything. Also consider attending a SAFE meeting to get more information from other administrators on campus. These meetings happen every Thursday from 9 to 10 a.m. and are designed to help students plan large-scale events. This concludes the student event planning tutorial video. If you have any further questions, please contact your SLD advisor. Thank you for watching.